It was a time in my life when every day felt like a repeat of the one before. I'd wake up to the dull gray of the city skyline, drag myself to the office, sit beneath artificial lights, and perform tasks that never felt like they meant anything. I was 24, but I felt older, like I had already lived through all the excitement life had to offer. Deep down, I believed I wasn't meant for more, that some people were just meant to exist quietly. My apartment was small and cold, but it was familiar. That's what fear does to you. It convinces you that familiar is better than free. I had dreams once. I used to paint, sketch, get lost in colors. But somewhere between trying to be practical and not disappoint anyone, I had stopped. I hadn't touched a paintbrush in 4 years. Then one morning, I noticed the neighbor across the hall left her door cracked open. Her name was Miriam. We'd never spoken much beyond polite greetings, but I always noticed the warmth of her eyes. That day, curiosity got the better of me. I knocked gently and peeked in. Miriam sat in a chair by the window, holding a small bird in her wrinkled hands. Its wing was broken, barely fluttering. She looked up at me and smiled like she'd been waiting. I don't know what made me stay, but I did. I sat across from her, and she introduced me to the little bird. She said she found it on the pavement, helpless, and brought it home. Something about the way she cradled that bird stirred something in me. Over the next few weeks, I visited more often. She let me help feed it, clean the little space she had set up by the windowsill. I started talking about my job, about the grayness, about the ache in my chest that never quite went away. Miriam listened quietly, sometimes humming, sometimes offering a soft word or two, but mostly she let the silence do the work. One day I asked her why she bothered saving something so fragile. She looked at me gently and said, "Not everything fragile is meant to be forgotten. Some things just need time and a little care to remember how to fly." I didn't answer, but her words sat in my heart like a seed. I started to realize that I wasn't just feeding a bird. I was tending to a part of myself I had long abandoned. And even though I couldn't quite name it yet, I knew something inside me had started to stir. The bird's wing healed slowly, but you could see the change. Each day it fluttered a little more confidently, its tiny eyes scanning the sky beyond the window. It had once trembled in fear at any movement, and now it chirped softly when I entered the room. Miriam said healing never announces itself with noise. It comes quietly, until one day you realize the pain isn't the loudest thing in the room anymore. I began to change too, though not in ways others would notice at first. I started journaling, something I hadn't done since I was a teenager. I walked instead of taking the subway, just to feel something different. I picked up a sketchbook and drew one small leaf. It wasn't much, but it was more than nothing. I started asking myself what I really wanted, not just what was expected of me. Still, I was afraid. Miriam saw it in me, even when I smiled and nodded like everything was fine. One afternoon, she placed the bird in my hands. Its wings were strong now, ready. She told me to take it to the park, where the trees stretched tall and wide, and let it go. My heart pounded the entire walk there. The box felt weightless and heavy all at once. I stood beneath a tree that had lost most of its leaves and waited for courage. The wind was soft, and the sky was open. When I lifted the lid, the bird hesitated. Its tiny feet clung to the edge, and for a moment, it looked back at me. I whispered to it, not sure what I even said. Maybe I was talking to myself. Then, with one sharp beat of its wings, it took off. Not perfectly, not high at first, but it flew. I watched it disappear into the open air, a small thing claiming the sky it was born for. I cried, not because the bird was gone, but because I realized I had held on so tightly, not just to the bird, but to everything I thought kept me safe. Fear, routine. That quiet voice that always told me I wasn't ready. That night, I quit my job. I didn't have a plan, but I had paints. I had dreams. And now I had proof that even broken wings remember how to fly. Sometimes the cage we're in doesn't even have a lock. It only takes one brave moment to open the door. Sometimes the bravest thing we can do is believe we're meant for more. Not because someone tells us, but because deep within, we already know. Like the little bird, we wait, wounded, uncertain, until one day we choose to rise. The power within you isn't loud, but it's always there, waiting for you to remember. If this story moved something inside you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Leave a comment, let us know your thoughts, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that heal, reflect, and uplift. Because you too were born to fly.